Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to everyone who is going to be a part of this discussion for tonight. And I'm also already greeting everyone who is going to come afterward. For tonight, we are August 17, 2022, and I am coming here to all of you to discuss a particular topic that I judge extremely, I think, important. And one of the reasons that I chose this particular topic, it was really to inform people who are in the diaspora who are really afraid to come home to Haiti, or other people really that this particular topic may be targeting, who may look at Haiti as a very much an unsafe place to be, an unsafe place to invest in. It is to shed light on different subject really in the matter of what's really going on in Haiti and how everything is extremely strategic. And not only is it really strategic, but also everything that is going on, it's making ways for a lot of money to be made. So the very first thing that I am going to say before we start this video tonight, I am going to greet the forefathers of Haiti. We are August 17, 2022, and this makes it 231 years since the Haitian Revolution, which started on August 22nd. However, it was on August 14, 1791 that the revolution actually started with the slave here in Haiti. I'm also seeing that Cap Haitian had a major party for their celebration. I am going to let you in on that. Cap Haitian is a very important city when it comes to the country of Haiti, when it comes to the land, the entire land of Hispaniola. So for Haiti and also for the Dominican Republic, because Cap Haitian is one of the cities that led some of the major battle that freed the slave, here in Haiti. And one of the battles was La Bataille de Vertières, Battle of Vertières, which was led by the incredible General Capois La Mort. And tonight, I salute these guys who led such fierce battle for us to free the slave here in Haiti. So when I saw that, which is very interesting, because on our last discussion we talked about Cap Haitian, when I analyzed for you the geographical position of Haiti, I definitely let you in on the passage that led from Cap Haitian to Miami. And as I was discussing this topic to you guys, I was extremely unaware that Cap Haitian was going to have such a party. And remember that I've spoken to you about the fact that it's always should interest you whenever Haiti is shedding a little bit of a limelight into a particular city. Now, another thing that I actually want to inform you of is that the former president of Haiti is from the north. He's from Le Cap. So you guys know that I never take anything at face value. I love to go back. I love to analyze. So this is food for thought for you who is going to watch this video. This is food for thought for you who is interested in coming here in Haiti. when I saw that Cap Haitian was having such a party, lavish party, I questioned it. Of course I did. I questioned the undertone, the behind the scene of that particular celebration. Now, granted, I know as a former person who lived in a different country, how the diaspora can feel so just, they just want that breath of fresh air to let them in and let them know that it's safe for them to come home. It's safe for them to come to their countries. And, you know, not only the diaspora, I've been in Haiti for 4 years now. And I know how gruesome it can be to stay here, especially here in Port-au-Prince, with such, you know, disruption. However, we should never take certain things at face value, because just because Cap Haitian is being shedding a little bit of light on, that does not negate the fact that the entire country is going through major changes. And one of the things that you must always ask yourself is why. As a diaspora, I understand. This morning I had such a nice little conversation with my mom, who was telling me, well, people are tired. You know, the diaspora wants to come home. They are tired. They've worked hard. They just want to feel that they want to come and enjoy their country, which I understand. I agree. I used to be one of these type of individuals. However, never do so blindly. Never do so blindly. Always questions the reason behind Cap Haitian. Always questions the reason behind any other countries, any other cities, excuse me, in Haiti that you are going to see that, you know, they'll shed the limelight in, and you must ask yourself the reason behind it, right? So everything that I just said, it is just food for thoughts for you to ponder upon. All right. So what are we going to be talking about tonight? Tonight, I want to shed a little bit of light into the shakedown of Haiti. I'm going to take you back into some of my memory lane. And as I mentioned to you before, one of the major reasons why I am bringing this up is because I really need for you to understand that what's going on in Haiti is very much strategic. All right. It is highly political. There are just a few hands behind that. However, these few hands are definitely controlling the entire country, and as they are doing so, they are making quite a lot of money, right? So let us start with, as we are analyzing the shakedown, I want to take you back into, well, first and foremost, I have my bookshelf right in front of me and I forgot to grab my books, but pass on. Let me take you back to 2000 and maybe 2004, 2005, 2006, between one of these years. Back then I used to go to school and I lived in the United States, and I remembered one evening, it must have been around 7 o'clock in the evening, and we had the TV on PBS, and there was a gentleman who was giving an interview, and I was listening to him. I was paying attention to the documentary, however, a little bit, you know, doing my own thing, until he started to talk about Haiti. That individual, ladies and gentlemen, was a man named Naim Moise, and he was presenting his book, which was called Illicit. Once he mentioned Haiti, it raised my alarm and I paid attention to what he was saying. And that particular documentary, I never forgot that man was speaking about Haiti in a manner that I've never heard. He is a white American. However, he was talking in that documentary, and mind you, the year between 2004 and 2006, so that's quite some time ago. And he was talking about the fact that Haiti was a pub. He was talking about Haiti was a pub for all illicit activities to go through. And he was talking about the fact that, you know, in Haiti, the country of Haiti, its geographic position allowed for a lot of drug trafficking. Of course, if you have paid attention to our last discussion, I've mentioned and I've elaborated with you a few of this passage. You know, Haiti has the Windward Passage. We have the Jamaica Channel. We have the Gulf. We just have different geographical position that is great for commerce. It's great for great passage. However, people are utilizing this position, this route for some illicit activities. So that was the very first time that I was privy of this information. That was the very first time that I really knew and someone talked about Haiti in this manner. And not only did that person talk about Haiti in that particular manner, but they seem to have a great understanding of the geographic position and the issues that were elaborating by that individual were not really internal issues. Do you understand? So that was because as Haitian people, we always hear about the issues of Haiti, but usually internal, like what's going on here, what's going on there. But that was the very first time that it captivated my attention. So I made it a point. I never forgot that interview, and I remembered the name of the book, which was Illicit, but I did not remember the author. So when I came to Haiti around 2010, 2012, when I flew back into Haiti, I think the year was 2012, I made it a point to look into that book, and I did purchase a few of his book. And I am going to recommend tonight that if you're not privy, because I know that the majority of you might be very privy of some of this information, but if you really want to know more about the strategic shakedown in Haiti, there are a few books that I'm going to recommend for you tonight. The first book is Illicit by Naim Moise. You really need to read this book. It talks about all type of illicit activities. It talks not necessarily, you're going to understand Haiti, but it really touch on how people who are into such activities, they do count for something, if not for more. People who are a lot of time into these activities can counter the governmental official. And a lot of time, people who are also in these activities, one way or the other, they are going to be met with government official, because they may weight a lot more in the scale as they are dealing with these illicit activities. So I am definitely going to recommend that book. You guys need to go and pick it up and study that book. Now, so this is food for thought. So now that I've spoken to you about that, because tonight we're going to analyze the shakedown, I'm gonna take us back to these years, my memories, and how this is why you shouldn't be afraid of the situation here in Haiti, why it is strategically done, why it is that there's so much money that is being made by these guys, and why and how we can counterbalance. Can we counterbalance? I believe that we could, but okay. So now I'm gonna take you guys, I feel like I want to take you back all the way to President IC, but I feel like if I do so, I may it may be I may be here for too long of a time. So let me do a little shorter. We're gonna do it shorter. Let me take you guys back to when I first came to Haiti. Now, I came back to Haiti in December 2018, correct? When I came back to Haiti in December, by February, Haiti, I was experiencing my first lockdown from Haiti. What was and what did this lockdown constitute? Because they actually continued until the assassination of the president. The first lockdown that I've experienced was just people letting, it was just kind of like a takeover of the radio station. A few members, gang leaders saying that, the country is locked. We do not want to see anyone on the streets. We are about to take on the street and everybody needs to stay home. When such communication comes through, usually everybody just stays home. No one questions that. And mind you, these are gang leaders that are putting these information out. The supermarkets are usually closed. The church are closed. The schools are closed. Everything is closed. It's a lockdown. Everyone stays home. No one really ever contests that. No other government official. Let me tell you something. So you have the gang leaders that are telling the population, hey, you know what? It's about to be a lockdown. You guys need to stay home. No government official, not even when the president was alive, had the courage, the nerve, the balls, the gall, the strength, the power to come forward and say, no, you guys go about your day. You guys go about your life. We got it. Never. So, February 2019, I've experienced my first lockdown. I think the country was locked for about 2.5 weeks. Okay? In the 2.5 weeks, yeah, what happened during this day? Like I said, everybody stayed home. All right, now back in the days, when they used to have manifestation, not necessarily lockdown, this used to be the time where I used to be on the streets, because it was always, people were so afraid that they stayed home and the streets would be empty. So it would always be the time that I used to go about my own affairs in the streets. I just could never understood it. I never understood how a couple of people would come and tell people to stay home, and people would stay home. Now, of course, if you had a vehicle or if you drove the public transportation, these guys would throw huge rocks at your car. They could become a little vicious and burn down your vehicles. Usually they do things like that, right? So, what is the second lockdown? The second lockdown was actually a lot longer. And I believe it was still in 2019. It must have been around like the spring going into the summer that they locked it down. What did this do for us? To me, when I looked at it, it was a total waste. It was because I think it was 2019, right? Haiti went into such strong shutdown, right? Such strong shutdown for months at a time, that around that time, I really believed that the president was going to sign his own resignation, because we were going around that time for maybe over months where no one could do anything. So people could not go to school. You just had to stay home. However, and I did cover these over on my YouTube channel, so feel free to jump on the YouTube channel over at Daisy Love 83 if you want to hear more about that. What I've experienced, this is when I started to understand the amount of money that was being made, and I knew that this so-called shakedown was nothing but a way from these guys to enrich themselves, right? So what did I experience? So like I said, they would tell you that you cannot take out to the street. You have to stay home. It's a lockdown. When they did it, and it was for a prolonged period of time, so maybe 2.5, 3 weeks going on a month, what they did is they strategically gave us, so the population of Haiti, a couple of days. They would say, okay, of course, it's usually these quote-unquote gang leaders, quote-unquote. We say these gang leaders, they will come out and say, okay, you guys have the weekend. So, we are giving you guys from Thursday all the way till Monday to take care of your business. If you have to do certain things, you go ahead. By Tuesday, the country is gonna go locked down. So around this time, what you've experienced is craziness and madness. Madness, ladies and gentlemen, in the supermarket. I'm telling you, if I had the courage to film people, I would. But of course, you never know how people are going to react if you start filming them. So I didn't. People running into the supermarkets, fighting over bread, fighting over everything, right? Supermarket is filled with people, people getting rides from people they don't know. The Western Union, which is, if you know the Western Union, we through the diaspora we receive a lot of money. The line for the Western Union was so long, and I never would have experienced it. Wearing it for one day. It was just one of these days, and they had gave us a few days to go about our affairs, and I quickly used that time to go to the salon. And of course there's madness in the salon. I went to get my hair done, I went to get my nails done, and on that same weekend my mother went to do her groceries, and of course she offered to do my own groceries, and I gave her my list. And when she came home, me being who I am, there was a particular item that I needed, but I wanted specifically a certain type of brand. So I said to her, well, no, this is not what I use. Why didn't you get? She said, Rebecca, I couldn't find the brand that you use, and quite frankly, there is none. Trust me, perhaps you should just go and see what the supermarket looks like. So I said, let me just go. And I went, and my jaw was to the floor, ladies and gentlemen, when I saw what I saw on the supermarket here in Port-au-Prince. This is when I knew that however these things were being done, there were certain hands behind it. These people knew what they were doing, and they were making money off of it. Right? Because every time that they open the so-called lockdown, what you had was the supermarket would be empty within like 24 to 48 hours. So who's making the money? Who's making this type of money? That's one. The second thing that you have to ask yourself, how come a few gang members can take on to their communication and tell people that you cannot go out, and no government official is co-signing it? Meaning no government official is counter what they are saying, is telling the population what? Who said so? No, we're telling you that you need to go out. Food for thoughts. So now here we are, and of course you guys understand that this was what we dealt with. So in my own opinion, these were all a little bit of a heads up that whoever was creating this madness, it was all heads up toward the president of Haiti, and he should have acted accordingly, ladies and gentlemen. There is no way that as a president you should let just a few people dictate and not give you any access, not give you any room to maneuver, not give you any right to speak to your population as the president. So this went all the way until 2020. Also, another tactic that they would do if it wasn't the lockdown, it was kind of like the kidnapping would have a boom. So I remember right before when the coronavirus spread out and it came to us, because you guys know it was first in China, and then before it came to Europe and hit us over here, there was a wave of the kidnapping that started in Haiti, right? So I think it was January, February, right after December, the news station were reporting the amount of people that were getting kidnapped. They were saying that, so-and-so got kidnapped, people got kidnapped left and right. So there was also that, a systematic kind of like wave. If it's not the lockdown, then you're hearing that people are getting kidnapped here in Haiti, right? And then what helped us in 2020 was when the coronavirus started to come around our way, or our side of the world. So I think they got scared because they didn't know what it was. So the president went right ahead and closed the border. So now the attention was a little bit more toward that disease. And what ended up happening is we had a little bit of a break from March, because I remember that we closed our border probably in March. And the president did go ahead and let people know that we had a certain type of curfew of, I think it was either 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. I can't recall, one of these time. And we had a certain, the public transportation, how many people we could count. So around that time, strangely, because of the coronavirus, everybody was afraid. And what you had people who conformed themselves, so we didn't have to deal with the kidnapping. We were in a national lockdown, so we couldn't do anything. So you didn't hear that. So the corona for us in Haiti didn't really hit us. So now we are March, we are April, we are June. This is 2020, right? By July, by really June, people were not really following the curfew anymore. We were going out a little bit. We were still wearing our masks. We were still trying to distance ourselves. But people started to go out a little bit. So by July, of course, they started yet again. By July, they started yet again with their madness. Right? They started yet again with their madness. And it was all because, in my opinion, they really were not letting the president of Haiti govern. And the president of Haiti didn't have any strategy, or maybe he didn't have any way, or maybe he didn't want to react in a particular manner with this guy who were clearly letting them know that your time is up. We need you out. And he really was trying to beat his time, and he was trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do, because at the end of the day, we're dealing with criminals. If you're going to deal with criminals, you're going to have to become a criminal. That's just the way that it is. So fast forward to now, we are in 2022. We are not in lockdown. However, let me report for those of you who may not know about what has been taking place here in this country. The first thing is that we have Port-au-Prince that is nearly surrounded with gangs. Okay? I've shared with you before that these gangs are a bunch of kids. A lot of them are little children. Some of them might be as young as 6 or 7 years old, believe it or not. And they have literally taken over a lot of cities, okay? They have run people. I mean, I have never seen this in my entire life. Never. They have run people out of their home in certain town because people are afraid. People are packing their bags, leaving their homes, fleeing these cities, not knowing where they are going to go. Not even knowing where they are going to go. People are just fleeing. People are just leaving, right? Such town or Pernier, such town or Tabor. You are constantly hearing them. Schools have to relocate because people are afraid for their lives. A lot of these guys don't even really know how to shoot, so you don't even know when they have the guns. They are children. They give them money, just a few bucks, not even a lot, just a few bucks. They give them money and they give them alcohol, beverages. So once they start shooting, these guys are don't know how to shoot. You just never know where how do you say, the bullet is going to go. A lot of time you have this bullet that go and hit, bystanders. So this is what we have. The second thing that we have here in 2022 is that in the places where kind of like the grand stations, such as, when you have a station that take you to different towns, different cities of your country, well, these major stations here in Haiti, this is where these quote unquote gangs are located. And what is it that they are doing? These children are in these areas, right? One of these areas we call is Portail Leogan. This is where you find all the big buses that take you to, the southeast, take you to the south, take you to, Portail doesn't take you to the north, it'll take you to places like mostly the southeast of Haiti, right? And what they are assigned to do, because it is a job, okay, they are not kids that get up every day and decide that they're gonna do this. No, they are employed and it is a job. Their job, what is their job? Their job is to go into these places, right? So these towns, they are here from sun up. So sun up these days is 5:30ish, sundown, and each driver, so people who do this type of transportation, who are taking people into the southeast, they have to pay these guys every time that they are either leaving or coming back. And who pays for that? It is the passenger, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, let's break it down. Let's say that I want to go home. Home is Lekai. And let's say that I have to pay the public transportation $10 That's the fee. So I not only pay $10 for the transportation, but now I have to have the extra money, which is about $10 as well, right? $10, because the driver is not gonna lose his money. These guys, they ask for a particular fee to let you go through. So each driver has got to give them that money when they come to these corners, to these pointers, right? These drivers have got to give these kids money. These kids are literally there, whether it rains, whether it's dry, whether there is heat, they're there with the money at hand. And in the vicinity, there are the ones that might just be a little bit older with the guns around them. So in the vicinity, you have the ones that have the gun, that point the gun. So if the driver or whoever does not want to give money, then automatically they can shoot at you, and they will shoot at you. They will shoot at your bus. They will shoot at your passenger. So how much money is being made in one day because traffic is still passing through? Imagine that. So each driver that is going to the southeast, whether it is that you're going to whether it is that you are going to Jacmel, whether it is that you are going to Miagwan, whether it is that you're going to Lekai, whether it is whatever you're going, you have, and usually these drivers, in a day, the traffic, for example, a driver who's going to Jacmel, it's not so far from Port-au-Prince. It's roughly, without any traffic, maybe a 2.5-hour drive with no traffic, but with traffic dependent, you may get it for 3.5, 4 hours, depending on traffic. So a driver that does the traffic from Port-au-Prince to Jacmel may do it 4 times in a day. But someone who is doing for Lekai is a little longer. I believe it's like about, 4 hours. So someone who is doing traffic from Lekai may do it like twice a day, meaning that that person may leave Port-au-Prince, right? That driver may have, a time frame where they leave at 8, they get to Kai, and then they have to recharge, and then after that they come back here to Port-au-Prince. But maybe after that they do one more and they stop, right? One more traffic, and then that's it for the day. They are not trafficking that often, depending on the hour. That's me thinking on my mind. So these drivers, they have, each time that they go back and forth, they collect the money from their passenger. They collect money for them, so you pay your fee, they're not going to miss out on money. And then the passenger also pays for these guys. And these guys, the driver has to give them the money when they get to the pointers. So I'm not even going further than Port Haile. Imagine how much cash is being made in a day here in Port-au-Prince. So, who is employing these kids? And can we fault these children for the work that they do when government officials had absolutely never made anything? You don't have anything for the youth. You don't have anything. There is absolutely nothing in this country. So these kids, how much money are they even getting paid for the work that they do? Standing in, if you've never been to Port Haile, it's not a nice place to be. It's filled with a lot of traffic because you got people coming in, leaving. Usually it's very, very dirty. If it rains, and it's been raining a lot for us, you have Mashikobosal that's now so far away. It's just not a pleasant place to be standing from sun up till sundown. And you have these children that are positioning there, collecting money for who? Because these kids are not collecting money for themselves. They are not. These children are not collecting money. They barely get probably even paid. So whatever they are making is just to get a little bit of food on their belly. Do you know that a lot of times the people that are involved into the kidnapping, they ask for a certain ransom, and the amount of money that is given to them, these people that were involved, they don't even really get the money. A lot of times they may just get a bottle of oil and some rice to feed their belly. This is the state of Haiti. And you have to ask yourself some questions regarding the state of Haiti right now. Each of us have to ask ourselves this question. Could that have been possible to be done if Haiti, if these that were in power, if they've ever done something to equip the youth? So now these kids, they don't have anything to do. They don't have any way to make money. Hell, if I wasn't as creative, do you really think I would have been able to have the ability to make money in a country like Haiti? So when you have children or individuals who have no way out, and you find these criminals, because they are not the criminals, let's be clear, these kids, these gang members, they are not the criminals. The people who are employing them, they are the real criminals. They are the real criminals. Because a lot of times they don't even pay these kids. They don't care. They know that it's expendable. And these kids risk their lives too. Because even amongst themselves, they are ready, the next one is ready to kill you for a little bit of more money, more cash. So we have evaluated, I'm not going to do any math, A bus in Haiti, if you sit on the front, you pay more money. So if you're going to, let's just say the southeast, let's just say if you're going to, I don't know, I'll pick Miragwan. I'm always picking Jacmel. If you're going to Miragwan, if you sit in the front, I believe you pay a little bit more money. The bus holds about 4 to 6 people, maybe 4 people in a seat. So let's just say that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows at 4 people. That's 16 people in a bus, but I think it may just be a little bit more than 60. Let's just say 20 people. So 20 people at 10 American dollars is about $200. So the bus driver has $200 that comes in, right? So now there's an extra $200 to pay to these gangs, to these children. We're just gonna call them kids. So the bus driver has to hand over $200, and trust me, they know how many people. They count the money at their station. They are counting the money, and the money better be correct. So the bus driver gives $200, and the bus driver has $200. So that's one way. So a driver, and you have different pointers in Port Ileogal, because Port Ileogal, you have the buses that are going to you have Leogan, you have the it's called Port Ileogal. So you have the buses that are taking you to Leogan. That's one route. You have the buses that are taking you to Jacmel. That's another route. You have the buses that are taking you to Lekai. That's another route. What am I missing again? You have the buses, the same bus that's take you to Lekai. If it takes you to it's the same route. If you're going toward, like, if you're going to Jeremy, there's a bus specifically that goes to Jeremy as well. But if you going to so you have the buses also that takes you to Jeremy. This is all the routes for the south, right? And this is where the station is. So you also have the north station. Now in the north, I'm not so sure if they also have these tricky situation, but I do know that in the area, for example, for the people who travel back and forth and who goes to the Dominican Republic, you do have gang members in that route. So the route that goes to the Dominican Republic, they are also there, some gang members. So you see the strategic of it, different gangs in specific places that are highly important, because these are places, commerce, meaning if you are into commerce, you have to go to the south. You can't only do commerce here in Port-au-Prince. If you are into any type of business where you need transport, you need to move around, these guys are located there. If it's not strategic, then tell me what is. And now I've shared with you the amount of money that is made in a day. The amount of money that is being made in one day. I've enumerated some sports. So you have drivers that do Port-au-Prince, Leogan. So these are several drivers. Not only one drivers. Maybe in a day you may just have 10, 15 drivers that do that route. Port-au-Prince, Leogan. Then you have Port-au-Prince, Jacmel. Then you have Port-au-Prince, Lekai. Then you have Port-au-Prince, Jeremy. So these are all route. So each of these drivers, every time that they leave Port Ileogan and they have to come back to Port Ileogan, excuse me guys, they have to give extra cash and extra money. So they collect about $200 for passenger, and the passenger has to give them extra money so that they can give to these guys. Do the math. Do the math. So when people are sitting here, excuse me, when people are sitting here and are saying to us that There is no money here in Haiti. So what is now the current situation that we have? Because there is absolutely no leadership. We are today, we are August what, 17? We are at 154 good for $1 American. In my opinion, what do I believe in regards to this strategic shakedown? I do believe that there are different hands behind it. I'm not going to say that what's presently happening. So now you also have the business of, so everyone is tapping into it. Because in order to have the gangs, and these kids are not dumb, if you don't pay them, they're not going to be on the street. So they know what they want. They probably should be asking for different things, such as, if you know, I would ask for them to build hospitals and schools in my cities, but they ask for money. Let's not get ourselves fooled. They know that they are dealing with crooked politicians. They know that they are dealing with crooked politicians, so they definitely ask them for money to do any type of beating. They are not going to get up like this, like that, and do their beatings. So these kids require money. So what you have is, in my opinion, you have people that are in so-called leadership position, but instead of trying their hardest to put some order, they too are dabbing into these illicit activities because they are looking at it like, I need the money. So what's currently operating and leading these people here in this country? You have two things. Greed, that is leading these politicians or whoever that is behind these kids that they are giving guns to, right? And these kids, in a way, I don't want to say greed, I would say for them it's kind of like their interest, and the population is fear. Because if the population had stood up and say, okay, this is enough, we're going to get up. But then you have the population of Haiti who is very tired, because this is 2022. We have been enduring, and I'm only saying since 2019 because this is when I literally came back. They've probably started to endure a little more. Maybe I'll say 2018, because 2017 I was here in the country. It wasn't so much so like that. So people are tired. The population of Haiti is tired. People just want to be able to live a regular life. School is about to start. I was talking to one of my cousins who has a daughter who's going to college, and she's telling me how she is praying so hard. So let's analyze. We've analyzed the money that is being made. So now we're going to analyze the countries that are probably behind what's going on and that are benefiting. Of course, I'm going to speak to the very first of the beasties, the United States of America, most definitely. I believe that they are definitely in suit, because there are a few gang members. I don't listen to the news, so I don't even know their names. I wouldn't be able to really give you into details, these guys. But here and there, when my family is here, they listen to the news pretty loudly. So unfortunately, I have to hear whatever is going on. And I was this is why I tell you I don't do the news, because this is such a mockery. Weren't it for the fact that some people were actually dying and the population is definitely afraid, this entire situation here in Haiti would be extremely comical, like a bad joke, just a really bad joke, but it would be very comical. Because to tell you the truth, I believe that one of the gang members has been sitting behind bars in the USA. So a gang member from Haiti is actually incarcerated in the USA. Isn't that something? What is he doing over there? And while he's over in the USA, this guy has so many properties here in Haiti, and he's still making move. I mean, if anyone who is watching this who is into the filmmaking industry, you should really look into Haiti to do some bomb ass movies like drug cartel type of movies. I don't know how fun it would be, but it would be something to be looked into, because the situation, as I said to you, in my opinion, could be extremely comical. What is this kid doing in the jail over in the USA? Why is he incarcerated there? Could it be that he knows too much and they really don't want him to talk, so they're like, we'll come and get him. Stay over there, kid. They are deporting Haitians for no reason, and they are keeping and shipping some political criminals from Haiti. Why? Could it be that they know too much and the US government does not want them to really? But we all know that you guys are into a lot of the madness that's going on here in Haiti. So we have the USA. How is it that, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, how is it that it is making a lot of money to the American government? I think it was the first conversation that I had with you that I was elaborating for you how the U.S. Embassy was making such money. The very first thing that I need for you to know is that the Biden administration has never had an ambassador here in Haiti. So since since they came into office, they never bothered with Haiti. And the majority of the Haitian voted for him. Very comical. So they don't have any ambassador here. Why should they have? Having an ambassador, you have to swear this ambassador. This ambassador needs to be sworn in the presence of the Haitian president and the presence of other officials. Haiti doesn't have any government. Why the hell do they need to send an ambassador here in Haiti? They have to host the guy. They have to feed the guy. I believe they have a certain type of envoy, which happened to be one of the guys who used to be here in Haiti a couple of years ago. I'm not really interested to look into it, but if some of you were, I could do a little back-end research to tell you exactly the dearth that the U.S. government is doing here in Haiti and collaboration with this guy. So I talked about that. But then, do you guys remember, was it last year? I think it was last year after the assassination that they actually kidnapped a group of missionary guys here in Haiti, and they were asking for such ransom, and they were demanding that the president of the United States talk to them. Now I was paying a lot of attention to that because, I started to laugh, which was not funny, but I just really needed to laugh about that. Because for me, it was these guys testing the waters, right? If you are very intelligent and you do a lot of critical thinking, it was their way to let the U.S. government in on, hey, you know what? You guys were into the assassination of the president of Haiti, so we're gonna go ahead and kidnap a few missionaries, and you better sit tight because we need for it. It was their way to kind of there's a way to say it, to blackmail. But of course, these guys are masters at what they are doing. So the president of the president of the United States just never co-signed on it. He never co-signed on it. You don't make deals with criminals. He knows that. He never co-signed on it. He also never panicked because he knew that should he had said anything to these guys, that would have raised too much alarm. But for someone like myself who's always paying deep attention, the minute that these guys had the missionaries, I said, okay, they are in on it. And it was for me, whoever organized this kidnapping was their way to want to let these people in the U.S. know, hey, you know what? We might just talk and let people in on how you guys are in to this entire situation that's going down to Haiti. But they worked out their ways, so that's the second thing. The third thing that makes me know that the USA is deep involved into the badness of Haiti is their fees, the money flow that they are making. For example, what I've told you about certain things, certain laws that they have in terms of if you need your citizenship, if you want to travel, they're making it a little easier for the Haitian people to come. But of course, you need to come legally. There's a lot of fees. For example, if you feel for your residency and you are applying for a couple of family members and all the paperwork are already there, it's just a few things that they are waiting for. I do believe that you can pay for a fee and these people can fly and await their papers in the US. So they make money like that. Of course, because of the situation of Haiti, people constantly are going working individuals, because non-working individuals, they hop on the boat. They're trying by any ways necessary to get out. But working individual, almost everyone, to tell you the truth, is trying to escape. So working individuals, every time that you have to go, you have the application fee, which I don't know how much it is, but you got the application fee that is rising. And let's not forget that every time the dollar is rising, the U.S. Embassy always gives it a little bit more, so they make their money off of that, right? They definitely make a lot of money on the situation here in Haiti, because people are seeking visas, people are seeking any type of way to get out. They just don't want to be in Haiti. And like I said to you, working individuals are willing to risk everything. And then you have the Haitian diaspora. What these guys are doing is kind of like they're looking at, for example, those of you who are in the diaspora, you're looking at Haiti and you have children in Haiti, you have family members in Haiti, and a lot of you are kind of like cornered, because it's two things. I understand, because those of you who are not here, it's either you keep sending money to your people here in Haiti to support them and to help them, or you go ahead and you are applying for them to come to the US. So I know that they are deep into it. Canada is about the same thing, maybe to a lesser degree. The reason that I say to a lesser degree is because the Canadian embassy has bouts of time where they are absolutely not taking any visas. I encountered a blockage some years ago that was because I remembered that there was an organization who was sponsoring women in the Caribbean. They were giving, I will not state their name, I've dealt with them. Listen, they were empowering women here in the Caribbean, and you guys know that I am the proud owner of a representative agency, the Youth and Young Adults International Agency. And I represented Haiti at the Caribbean, what was it called? It was an event that was done in 2013, and our organization was selected to be a part of that. And I remember seeing these people there, and I raised a question because I had wanted to participate in their program as a Caribbean woman because it was open, and they denied me the access of it because they stated that they were funded by the Canadian government, and the Canadian government had said that they did not want for anyone from Haiti to be a part of that, because they said that they've already lended enough money to the Haitian government, that this program was open to countries in the Caribbean but not Haiti. Imagine that. The Canadian government is extremely, they know for a fact of the madness that is going on in Haiti. They know that these government officials are not accountable. They know that this government official do not do what they say that they would do. So when you have a program like that that is open for women in the Caribbean, and you come out and say that you do not want for Haitian people to participate in it, you too are an accomplice into what's going on here in Haiti. You too take a part in what's going on in Haiti. Now, I say to a lesser degree because I have a few past classmates that are living in Canada, and Canada has a different approach when it comes to, giving people work permit, giving people work visas. They are not as bestial as the USA. And I think it's just because they have a different approach. Because what you do find in Canada, you do find that you have Haitians that are a lot more educated that goes to Canada, because Canada is strategic, because they have a certain way of wanting people to come into their country, has a strategic way of actually they are always seeking for Haitian professionals. So this is why when you go to Canada, a lot of time you find educated Haitians there, because they are not a country that opens their doors to any and everyone. Their program, a lot of the people that I know that I went to school with, it was fairly easy for them to have their residency in Canada and afterwards to apply for their citizenship. So Canada has a different ways. Still, even with, excuse me guys, still even with, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Still, even with the fact that they have different ways, I do believe that their government is in on the madness that is going on here in Haiti. The third country that I am going to say is most definitely our neighbors. The Dominican Republic is definitely making their beurre, so they're making their butter of what's going on in Haiti, especially in the last years, because you have to remember that as our neighbors, the Dominican Republic is one of the countries who do somewhat a little bit more business with Haiti. So Haiti is their main, consumers. We do a lot of business with the Dominican Republic, and I know that they are benefiting from what's going on in Haiti from last year. I think I mentioned that in this topic. If I did not jump over on my YouTube page, I definitely mentioned that in one of the lives that I did last year. So Haiti went into a sort of like a shock after the assassination, and you have people who were fleeing by any means necessary. They were fleeing anywhere. So the Dominican Republic received a lot of Haitians in their territory, right? And another tactic that I've recently seen that they are having is you do have that they are opening doors for a lot of Haitian that are here that have the ability to work, and they're like, hey, if it's not working for you in Haiti, just come to us, we'll help you. Some places in some places are filled with Haitian. A lot of our youth are over there. A lot of the people, I'll take it one notch down. I have not shopped internationally, meaning like buy clothes anywhere since I've came here, but I've purchased clothes. I would say that 90% of the young people here in this country, all of their little commerce that they buy, so whether it is that people who buy jewelry, people that buy anything that people have here in Haiti, they go to the Dominican Republic to purchase it. Almost anything that a business person is in need of, they actually go to the Dominican Republic instead of coming here to Haiti. It could be because they have, they have more access to this. It could also be because, it's easier to acquire these things. But the majority of the people here in this country, so anything that you need, if you are able to go to the Dominican Republic to get it, you could get it yourself. But if you are buying it here in Haiti, these people are getting it from the Dominican Republic. Back in the days, people did a lot of commerce with other islands. I remember I had one of my cousins who did that, but she used to do it with Curacao. She also did it with Panama. A lot of the young, people would go, and I think there's a special visa that you can get, and there's a special processors for people like that. So you would say that you are kind of like someone who does commerce, and you do have access to, one second. Excuse me. So you do have access to that. But there was another country also that was called, I think, Provo. So these are all other islands that Haitian people used to go to and buy stuff and come back here. I remember my mom used to buy a lot of the clothes for us through some people, and a lot of them were buying from Panama, were buying from Curacao. But I don't even hear that people are going to these countries anymore to purchase their goods. The majority, if not, I say the majority. The reason that I don't say everyone is because you still have, even now I don't think you do, because I would say that you had people who went to Miami, and who came back and who did that type of business. But these days, guys, I'm gonna be very honest and tell you that 99.9% of people who do some type of business here in Haiti, they are purchasing from the Dominican Republic. And it could be any type of business, whether it is the business cement, whether it is that you have, a construction business, whatever it is. And these guys are buying from the Dominican Republic. That's one thing. Last year around December, a lot of people in Haiti just up and left their homes and everywhere. A lot of these people, I'm a throw it out Caribbean girl. Like, I'm a throw it out island girl. I don't mind living in other countries, but I love the Caribbean, right? So if I had to relocate, or if I had to continue to buy property, I would buy within the Caribbean, because I love the Caribbean. And you do find a lot of people like that. You do find a lot of people who just, or they can't and they don't want to cope with the life in the USA. They don't want to cope with the life in Canada. So they do the next best thing is they go next door. They go to the Dominican Republic. They establish themselves there. They have a pretty good life over there. And you can't fault, I was going to say that you can't fault these guys, but I do fault them, because I'll get to something very soon. But anywho, so the Dominican Republic, what else is another country, in my opinion, that is very much benefiting? Well, other countries that are benefiting, in my opinion, you have Colombia. These guys are heavy into the drug game. Colombia is big with with their own cartel. Jamaica also has a lot of that going on. So because of the state of Haiti, you have to remember that guns, or the traffic of guns, is heavy here. So the guns have to come from somewhere. So whoever has that connect is making good money. Whoever has that connect is making money. Here and there, remember I told you guys that I don't listen to the news, but my family do, and here and there I'll listen to whatever in passage. So I think I read somewhere, or I overheard, that they caught a guy from Zimbabwe here, and I've even heard that the church the Catholic Church was involved. I think there was a car, or either a car, or was it a contest, something, that a vehicle that was for the church, okay, and that vehicle was filled with guns. I can't really report 100% because I heard it in passage. I told you I really don't listen to the news. I don't have the time for that. This is madness. Everyone is involved into it. You would really be surprised. I don't understand why when people are hearing these things, they clutch their pearls. They're like, you have to understand, it's ways for people to make money, and they are. Hey guys, a little parenthesis. Did you watch the movie with Tom Cruise? I can't remember the name of the movie because I haven't been to the movies in years, but I remembered it was in the last years before I came back to Haiti. It's a movie where he was married. I think he had like a regular job. Oh, he was a pilot. And he was good, making okay money, decent money. He just got married, bought a house, and he was approached. Now, because he was a pilot, he was this. I'm bringing this as not necessarily an anecdote, but just to tell you how people can get involved into these things if they see it's benefiting them. Because one thing that you have to realize when it comes to money is that when you are accustomed to make a certain amount of money, it becomes a drug. You really want to keep that flow. You really want to continue to make the money. But anywho, let's go back to the movie. So in the movie, I don't remember the name of it, but just Google it. In the movie, Tom Cruise was a pilot. He had just gotten married, and one day he got approached, and they wanted him to use one of his plane to do a drug transport. At first he was like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not gonna risk my job. Like, absolutely not. But then they told him how much money he was going to make, and he said, okay, well, hold up. How much money am I going to make? How much money am I going to make? Right? And he accepted based on the money. So he started off with only transporting these things. I don't even think he really knew what it was until one time he went in. So he was such a good pilot, and this is how he got involved into it. So they started him off so he would, just accept for these people to put their merchandise into his plane, and he had nothing to do with it. So he was not touching the merchandise. He was still a pilot. He was still doing his thing. He had nothing to do with it. But the money started to come, and the money was extra money for him. He loved the money. Listen, he upgraded his house and everything. And he didn't yet, in the beginning, he didn't tell his wife about it. But it was the good life, extra money, good money. And then he got approached. Now they wanted him because he was a great pilot. So now, instead of him continuing with the airline, they wanted to hire him as their own pilot. So now he was going to get deeper into it. Now I remembered he talked to his wife about it, blah, 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 blah. They tripled the money now. But now it's becoming a little bit more risky because he's no longer having the umbrella of the airline, because now he's directly working with him, and they have different routes that he had to go. He had to go to some crazy places, and sometimes they hired him because they knew he was such an excellent pilot. Sometimes he had to land in places where it's kind of like no asphalt, and the dirt, and he had to make sure. So now he was transporting the drugs, right? So he did that for a good amount of time until the feds were in on it. And he enjoyed his money. Oh my God, I love doing these things for you guys, because it's like I watched this movie such a long time ago. I think I must have watched it in 2016, 2017. It was one of these years. Great movie. Great movie. But I bring this up to you to tell you how easy it is for any and everyone to get involved into these activities if the price is right. I feel like, is it my moral values? I just feel like I could never get in. First of all, you get involved with these activities, it becomes a drugs in one way or another, because as the movie that you saw, you get involved into it, right? He got involved into it thinking to himself. At first he was like, absolutely not, I'm not going to do something like that, which we all do. But then how do they bait you? With the money. They triple the money. They say, well, hey, this is how much you got to make. So he looked at it like, well, I do need the extra cash. And he probably looked at it like, it's only a one-time thing. I'm not going to do it constantly, right? Next thing you know, this guy was deep into it, to the point where he even got I remember they raid his house. Like, he got heavy into it because the money was really, really good, and he started to have a particular lifestyle. He was having fun with his wife. They were traveling. I mean, he really enjoyed, but they still got him. So it's the same thing with what's going on here in Haiti. So you have people who are benefiting. So like I said to you, I elaborated the countries, in my opinion, that are deep into it. So I said the US government, they've always been. I said the Dominican Republic, yes, you guys are in on it. Canada, you guys are in on it. I said Colombia. I named Colombia because I know my Colombians. Come on. It's a way to make money. You're gonna make your money too. Colombia, definitely Jamaica, because I know for a fact that the Jamaicans do a lot of drug trafficking here in Haiti. Remember, Jamaica is very, very close to Haiti. There are some parts of Haiti that are filled with Jamaicans. They are established in the seashore, that coastline. Remember what I've said with you. Haiti doesn't have any Coast Guard. It's not patrol. The few people that patrol these Coast Guards are from the USA. These guys come to Haiti as a mission, and their mission is to patrol. And it's just because the United States do not want the transport to keep coming to their shore. That's it. But Haiti doesn't have any Coast Guard, right? So you have the Jamaicans that are doing a lot of drug games here. You have, I said Colombia, I said Jamaica, definitely not Cuba, definitely not Cuba. And then now let's talk about individuals, because I told you that individuals can be any and everyone at this point in time. I feel like the majority of the Haitians are trying to get in on it. Why? Because the reason is that the Haitians that are, I don't, just a few of us or have the integrity that we have, okay? It's cost $154 good for $1 American. I'm going to be really honest and tell you guys that I am here in this country, because I have to be honest and tell you that. But I literally don't live my life in Haiti, if you understand what I mean. I really don't. All the work that I do is still through international, right? I'm here, I'm present, but if I had, it would not be possible for me. Everything that I get, down to my self-care, is not from Haiti. It's not. I have to be honest. It's not, right? The thing with it is that you could go to the supermarket and find a few things, and then you don't have access to it anymore. You don't have access to it until like another 2 to 3 months. And when it comes, if you don't have a rapport with these people at the supermarket, like a type of relationship, when they know that you are their client, they see what you're getting, and they can contact you to let you know that this product is here, you're not going to find it. Because a lot of the time the product gets stuck, the commerce is not coming in, and it's just madness after madness after madness. So when it comes to individuals that are dabbing, this is one of the reasons when I coach people and when I consult with people, and they always love to tell me about who they know and who they have in Haiti, that I say, please stop it. Unless you are, at this point, I wouldn't even trust someone that I'm laying next to. That's how you cannot be sure of people. You cannot be sure of people. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know how they're acquiring their money. You have to exercise good judgment. Okay, so now we are going to say, I had 6 pointers that I had written regarding the shakedown, what you should know. Let us not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that one of the reasons that I've decided to bring this forth to you is because I really wanted to take away that fear. I hate when I speak to people that are overseas and they say, oh, you are so brave to be leaving. I'm not freaking brave, okay? I'm angry. I'm really upset because I actually have to work to make money. I have to work to make money. When I diffuse these here, it's because I need for you guys to listen to me and receive a consultation. These guys are sitting there and dictating these children what to do and how much money do they bring in a day. That angers me, actually. That really angers me and upsets me, because I'm seeing the cash flow that is being made in my country, and the majority of people are fleeing the country. No government official have the balls to come forward and say, or maybe they don't know what to do. I don't know. So the reason that I'm saying and I'm bringing this up, it's especially for the Haitian diaspora. The people who feel like they would want to come home, but they don't feel, they are afraid because they are sitting here listening to people who are diffusing false news to them and just wants to scare them off. So I just wanted to take away that fear mongering and let you see the behind the scenes of the monies that are being made, so you could choose to be in fear, or you could choose to make a turnaround and tell yourself, no, okay, what can we do together? All right, so now what should you know and what should you understand? Let us not forget that I run consultation. Should you be interested to come to Haiti and do business in Haiti, acquire land in Haiti, or need a few questions asked, I run consultation. You can send an email, dlconsulting83@gmail.com. Okay, so the first thing I said, that this shakedown is almost global. Haiti isn't the only country going through this shakedown, which will make ways for the new world order. You understand, I don't need to go further. Haiti has been hit. I've enumerated before to you what's going on, but Haiti is really not the only country that's going through this shakedown. It is a new world order. Countries are repositioning themselves. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. Look at, unfortunately, the war that Ukraine is having, and it's just the way that it is, right? Number two, I said it's very much needed and necessary. Change is needed for growth and development. Some of the things now in the matter of Haiti, it is needed, because as this shakedown is happening, unfortunately, you do have a lot of people that are going to die. I do predict that come 2020, as we are sighting our reign into 2025, and you have these powers behind the scenes that are, trying to make ways, you're gonna have a lot of people that are involved into this madness that are going to die. And it is necessary because you need change, right? So number three, I said there are major dealing happening beneath the surface. Of course, you understand that this is what we are seeing, but there's also the behind the scenes. And as we are talking, as I'm putting these conversations out for you, trust me, there are a lot of meetings being done at night, a lot of meetings being done behind the scenes, a lot of things are happening. You have to keep your mind open. You have to really, 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 really stay focused and ask as much questions. And also, you need to be prepared. Preparation is key, key, key. Number four, I said positioning yourselves correctly is vital wherever you choose to be. Wherever you choose to be in this world, you have to learn how to position yourself. You have to have something to sit on. You are your own value. You have to be able to raise your value, because this is a changing world, honey. You do not want to be at the back burner of that bench. Okay? Numbers 5, I said we must brace ourselves for the world before we see concrete change. Yes, it is going to change. And number 6, I put change is inevitable. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the new world order. Countries are repositioning themselves. So many things are happening. Climate change. Tonight I decided to come here because here, what I do here as I am running my consultation, I really would love to do a little bit of repatriation of my Haitian people who want to come back home, who feel like they have a lot to bring but they don't know where to start. It is one of the main reasons why I'm putting these topics out for you. It is to make sure that you guys really understand the behind the scene. It is to put credential information out for you. It is for you to really listen to what I'm saying, to ponder what I'm saying, to kind of like figure out your way out, because the one thing that you really don't want to do, especially in the matter of Haiti, is that you do not want to be part of the people that are going to come afterwards. I bet you, and I kid you not, you do not want to be part of the people that are going to be left behind. The surface, what's going on now, I'm not saying that you should not take notice of that, but that should not frighten you. You should just be prepared, just as I've always been prepared. I'm still here, ladies and gentlemen. I live here. I go about my day. I do my activities. I'm still here. Thank you so much for tonight. I had a pretty empty room, but I like it like that because it gives me, I don't know, I just feel like I can just go ahead and talk to you. I enjoy coming out and telling you these information. Do not forget that I am open for consultation should you be interested in the market of Haiti. And I will see you next week. You, God willing, you have a beautiful evening.